Gentlemen, we are in a system, and that system is our enemy. Take a look around you. What do you see? Me Too accusations, social justice warriors, crazy feminists, and hopelessly emasculated men. But the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we save those minds, those people are part of the system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these men are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so hopelessly controlled by blue pill lies that they depend on the system and they will fight to protect it. As a man, which do you prefer? To remain willfully ignorant of masculine and feminine truths, or to get out of your comfort zone and to seek the truth that the system does not want you to know? If you're a man who seeks the truth, no matter how uncomfortable, then you know what you must do. Join me, and I will teach you exactly what a woman is thinking without even listening to a single word that comes out of her mouth. This is the power of understanding body language. In addition to this, you will be entered into the Masculine Empowerment Network and join hundreds of unplugged men from all walks of life across the globe. Unfortunately, no one can learn the truth about dating and relationships by simply being told from the system. You must live it and experience it for yourself. That is what body language mastery will do for you. Remember, this is your final chance, and all I'm offering you is the truth. Follow me, and let's see how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Oh, fucking A. If I look a little weird, all right, if I'm a little off, that's because I have full-blown HIV from watching this fucking movie. Holy fucking shit. God damn it. Just when I thought people could not get any fucking dumber and any more AIDS-ridden with all of their social justice warrior hepatitis A through Z, herpes, fucking AIDS, cancer, everything hybrided into one, and then written on a script. And then they took that script and they found a homeless person in San Francisco and they wiped his shit-covered ass with it, and then he ate it and shit it out, and then they took that and they smeared it on a script. That is what The Rise of Skywalker is. I can't even believe how fucking garbage this shit was, and how these people have hundreds of millions of dollars. Guys, I'm literally getting to the point that I just think it is so easy to become rich and get power. It's just like most people don't even try. Most people with the brains don't try, because this thing is so fucking terrible. Message deleted by the Google moderator team. What the fuck was that? Chess, what did you send me? I actually went and saw it. Yeah, I went and saw it. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I went and saw it. I had to see it. Chess Rockbell, what was that? It says message deleted by Google moderator team. What the fuck kind of censorship is this shit? I mean, and that's it. What I've come to the conclusion is this, okay? Chess, type it out with like periods and type out with periods and alphanumeric, like type numbers and stuff. I want to see what you wrote, or space it out. But god damn, just fucking crazy, dude. Okay, so here's the deal. Real quick, just so you guys know, I'm going to just cover my bases. modernlifedating.com/body language. The enrollment period is on Thursday, okay? It is 1 fucking week away. There are 300 people on the waiting list. If you don't want to join, go fuck yourself. Because I know I've got people out the ass joining. And honestly, if you don't want to join at this point, seriously, go fuck yourself. I know the results I deliver. I've been talking about it week after week after week. Again, I know the results. The results speak for themselves. If you can't put 2 and 2 together, I just don't want to deal with you, to be honest. Like I said, the email list grew by 35 people today. 35 fucking people in one day. So, okay. Yeah, Chess Rockwell. I want to know what you're saying. I want to know what you said there. So okay, God. Okay, so first of all, were you ass? Yeah, yeah, yep. I probably was. Okay, guys. So let's talk about what this shit is. Okay. What I've just noticed recently, okay, this is just a side note. Okay, I've noticed that pretty much everything that's coming out of Southern California, it's shit quality. It's absolute garbage quality. So the Rise of Skywalker, right? Complete trash movie. Complete trash. But of course, like they had to put their agenda in, right? Feminist agenda as well. Still, all women are numero uno. Women are the best. Man's is the worst. Okay? Literally, lines from the movie. You're such a difficult man. Okay? Oh my God. Okay. So for you guys that want to see it, right? I wouldn't recommend doing this, but I've heard some people on the internet what they're saying to do. If you want to see Rise of Skywalker, you go buy a movie ticket for another movie, and then you just sneak into Rise of Skywalker. Therefore, they don't get money in the box office, right? So technically, that's illegal, and I would not advise anybody to do that. But if you did not want to give money to the Rise of Skywalker, you could technically commit a crime and buy a ticket to another movie and then sneak into the movie theater, because this movie doesn't deserve a single penny fucking from anybody. This movie is like, I cannot believe that these people are in control of Hollywood. Like, honestly, it's just I can't even get my words out, because like that's just how, like, it's so stupid I can't even comprehend it. You know what I mean? It's so fucking dumb. It's just like, okay. So let's just jump right into it. Okay. So the movie starts off right, and Disney is like has the biggest fucking black eye with this whole thing coming, and believe me, it's fucking coming. So first of all, here's the big problem here, right? Here's the big problem for Disney, right? Because they're gonna lie, they're gonna blame straight white men, they're gonna blame straight men, the patriarchy, all these things, right? And take a look here. So Rise of Skywalker, right? So we got this right here. Here's the audience rating, right? You can see
2015
it's
was my year. 2016.
Thank you for the
is
super
also
chat, whoever you
my
are.
year. Every
Let me see
year
real quick.
is my fucking year.
Thanks to the super chat. Jack Donovan's butt plug, €2. The Smooth Criminal MLD. Go woke, get broke. That's right, guys. If you want to donate, click on that link right there. Streamlabs.com/modern life dating channel. You get to see George Bruno pump some weights. You know, pumps them like this movie is pumped full of fucking feminist propaganda. Okay. So the movie here is rated 3.3, right? Garbage, bro. Absolute garbage. Way worse. Rotten Tomatoes. Now, Rotten Tomatoes is 58%, and these are from the critics who are paid and bought off, right? You can't ever trust the tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes, because these people are paid and bought for. But even them, they've said this movie was terrible. The audience score is not coming out yet. But if you look at, like, okay, for example, like The Last Jedi, right? The Last Jedi was a complete abortion. Like, and not a clinically done abortion. Like, an abortion done in the back alley with a fucking coat hanger, right? 91% certified fresh by their fucking shills. You have to understand this. This is like, you have to understand how the business world works. All these people are paid and bought for who do this. So when you see such a large disparity between the audience, which is 213,000 people versus 455, like there's no similarity here, you have to know that the audience one is probably right, because that's the people speaking. These people are bought and paid for. Okay, like let's just say, for example, I don't know, let me type in a movie. Casino Royale, right? Casino Royale, that's a great movie, right? Good masculine movie, good stuff, right? Casino Royale 2006. So look at that. See, tomato meter 95, audience score 89. See, far more near than other ones. Okay, let's just do another one right off the top of my head. Independence Day. Independence Day, 1996.
2015 was my year. 2016.
So, see,
was
Tomato
also
Meter
my year.
65.
Every year is my fucking year.
Audience score 75. See, very near, very near. Fucking, this is just proof that the critics are idiots because 65% of this movie is a fucking modern day miracle. Are you joking me? Good Lord, everybody's just fucking their head these days. All right, how to be HIV free? Breathe, deadlifts, mummification. That's right. Okay, so here let's just So the last Jedi was like completely like a blatant like women are better than men and we're gonna shit on fucking the most iconic character in the entire Star Wars brand. We're gonna take Luke Skywalker and we're gonna emasculate him. We're gonna turn him into a coward. We're gonna turn him into like a sea cow, milk drinking weirdo, right? That's the equivalent of Disney taking Mickey Mouse and being like, okay, Mickey Mouse is now a heroin addict and a Nazi. He's a Nazi heroin addict who has full-blown AIDS, and he gives it to other people as well. Like that's exactly what that's the equivalent. You're taking your poster child, and then you're like just completely fucking shaming him and destroying him. That's like in honor of Donovan Sharp being here, you know, that's like the Patriots taking Tom Brady and then just benching him. Be like, you know what? You won all these Super Bowls. Fuck you. You suck. Sit on the bench. And then scold Tom Brady for everything that's going on for him not being able to play, right? That's you don't take your cash cow and humiliate them because of your fucking social justice warrior like agenda. Don't you fucking dumb idiots in Southern California get it? That's why everybody's fleeing the state. That's why these people are shitting in the fucking roads. All you people are morons and you're doing it wrong. You're telling me about fucking, you know, you're saying all white men are evil and all men are evil and women are better than men, but at the same time, fucking men need to save women from the evil men that are oppressing them because men are dumber than women and women are somehow better than men, right? It's just like it's a huge clusterfuck and everybody's getting sick of it. So, you know, this whole movie was a complete abortion starting from The Last Jedi. And then guess what happens, okay? Then we evolve into this movie, right? Rian Johnson did an awful job, completely destroyed anything of relevance to the Star Wars brand with that movie. And then they killed fucking they fucking killed, okay? Then they killed Luke Skywalker. Now, the movie is so boring cuz this bitch Rey never fucking loses. It's like she never loses. She's more powerful than everybody. Everything is like a miracle to help her. And there's no struggle, there's no triumph, there's no character development. In this movie, she's just like a fucking cunt. She's just a nasty, mean cunt the whole fucking movie. Nobody likes her. Like I said, she calls Poe, "You're such a difficult man," right? Thank you for the donation hologram. I'm not gonna read that because I'm on a roll right now, but thank you. So yeah, there's no struggle for her, and guess what? That is what like movies are made about. Like even fucking Iron Man lost. Okay. Thank you so much, hologram.
Every year,
Iron Man and everybody lost in Infinity War. They fucking lost. Okay. Half of the world was wiped out and killed, and it was all because of Tony Stark's fault. Like he couldn't stop them. And all of that weight came back on him. And then in the next movie, he had to fucking kill himself and die in an Endgame. And he knew it. He's like, oh, the only way I'm going to fucking defeat Thanos is I have to kill myself and everybody else can live. And that's why the hero story works, okay? Let me tell you something else. Masculine-driven stories are the only thing that really succeed in the box office. Okay, look at like the glorious '80s. Look at the most iconic films in American history. Back to the Future, okay? All male. Predator, all male, turbo masculine. Rambo, all male, turbo masculine, right? The Terminator series before they got infected with AIDS and failed at the box office because whammon, right? Look at that. Any Jean-Claude Van Damme from the movies from the 80s, okay? Bloodsport, Time Cop, Kickboxer, right? Fucking it goes on and on and on. All those movies, masculine driven. All the whole reason the whole Marvel thing was a success because it was a masculine story. Men and women like that. Now flip the script. Like one more. Here's a pristine example. Ghostbusters in the 80s and the 90s. Okay, Ghostbusters, American classic. Everybody likes it. You can put that movie in the DVD player, VHS player, whatever today, and watch it, and that movie's still good. When they do the all-women reboots, okay? All-women fucking Ghostbusters. How did they defeat the last guy? Shoot him in the dick with the streams, right? I'm not even joking. This movie is like, it's like they just think that like just making females like ultra powered, right? Because that just shows you how like lack of creativity women have. They're just thinking like, oh, okay, like we're just gonna make this guy, just make him super strong, make him strong. Can't win, strong, can't win. That's how like short-sighted females think when they do this shit. And this is all led by keep in mind, this is all led by this rabid feminist cunt, all right, who I hope finally loses her fucking job, but this masculine-looking creature of the night, Kathleen Kennedy. This is the president of Lucasfilm. And here's the thing, okay? First of all, she has no talent, no idea about anything. Her tenure, all right? If you take a look at her, she's just a producer. And a producer is basically somebody who finances and is a yes man behind the scenes. Take a look at all these fucking garbage-ass movies she's been behind. Take a look at this, okay? Or no, she was not, excuse me, I take that back. She was not associated with these garbage movies, but she pretty much did nothing for them. So, obviously Solo failed, right? Last Jedi failed. Rogue One, who gives a shit? Force Awakens, the only reason people were excited for this is because Luke Skywalker was at the end. All right, and then all she is executive producer for a bunch of movies that like, who gives a shit? Ghostlight, who gives a shit? Lincoln, who gives a shit? Warhorse, who gives a shit? The Adventures of Tintin, who gives a good goddamn, right? Indiana Jones, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, awful movie. Curious Case, Benjamin Button, producer. That's a good movie, but she's still just a fucking producer, okay? And what a producer does, all they do is finance and like oversee things minimally. Jurassic Park 3, producer. Fucking and then she makes her big claim to fame because she was basically riding the coattails of Steven Spielberg back in the day with Indiana Jones, right? Associate producer. Poltergeist. E.T., right? Just riding the coattails of Spielberg. And then she gets appointed to president of Lucasfilms. And here's why. It's because George Lucas approved her to be the fucking the president of Lucasfilm because she conned him into thinking he would do a good job, right? And George Lucas, I love George Lucas. He's a great guy. He did what he did, but George Lucas is blue pill as they come, man. He is a fucking blue pill beta male. It is what it is. The only reason he did the prequels is, you know why? Does anybody know why George Lucas did the prequels? So episode 1, episode 2. So episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Do you know why he did that? Does anybody know why he made those? I'm asking anybody in the chat. Do they know why? Okay, it looks like nobody knows. The reason he did it is because he got so fucking anally wrecked in divorce court, and he had no fucking money. He had no money whatsoever, and he had to fucking make money because he got wrecked in divorce court, right? So he had to make those, and he didn't learn his fucking lesson. That's the thing right there. If you don't learn your fucking lesson, you're gonna get burned and burned and burned again. And now this man's fucking legacy has been shat on for the last 4 years, like violently diarrhea shat on as well. Okay, so let's talk about this movie. Get ready. I'm going start to finish. I'm spoiling the whole movie. So if you don't want to be here, get the fuck out. Spoiler alert. Okay, there's your warning. All right, so the complete lack of creativity starts. And they're like, the movie starts, and this is like just a testimony. I sat there, and every time, because I went into Last Jedi thinking it was going to be good, and I remember sitting there, and then the Star Wars comes on the screen, the music is playing, it's like dun 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 dun. You know, every time I see that, I get fucking chills. I get chills down my spine. And I'm like, God, this is why I love it. I literally sat there this time and I felt nothing. I felt nothing at all. I was just like this is what they've done. Like, this is how Star Wars dies. You at the hands of social justice warrior politics and fucking feminism. This rabid feminist cunt, C-U-N-T, cunt, hard T, all right? She has injected this franchise with so much, like, feminist propaganda, and really all it boils down to is feminists are just insecure people. They're insecure, and they have to just overcompensate at the fucking expense of anybody else. DBB with the $5 donation, thank you so much. If you guys want to send a donation, send it right there. Send your questions, I'll answer them as well. Streamlabs.com/modern life dating channel, right? The link's in the chat. So they start off, right? So I feel nothing. And I read a bunch of the spoilers. So first and foremost, there's something very important that everybody needs to know, right? I read all of these spoilers because if you go to Reddit, okay, somebody within Reddit or within, a great person within Lucasfilm released 3 months ago the entire plot of the movie. His name is Jedi Paxis, okay? Jedi Paxis is his username, and it's he posted the let's see, where's the original leaks? Can I put like most top? I think top is, we'll find it. That was 1 year ago, 8 months ago. Oh, here we go. This is the big leak page. So it had 5.4 thousand upvotes. And here it is. He literally details the entire movie, talking about right here when it talks about the dagger that she gets, talks about Rey fighting Rey seeing Dark Rey, right? Then that was confirmed in the trailers. The whole movie was leaked, okay? So the fans from within Lucasfilm, because from what my sources and what I've collected on the internet have told me is that internally there are traditional people who love Lucasfilms and like the traditional Star Wars, and then there are SJWs and feminists, filth from Southern California, who are just like Kathleen Kennedy's little legion of fucking losers, and she plays favorites with them, and they're internally divided. So the people who wanted this movie to fail because it's a complete abomination to anything Star Wars, they fucking somebody released it and they botched this. And watch, this movie will fucking fail. This movie will be one of the biggest failures in Disney's history. Okay, it is absolute garbage. Jedi Paxis equals Mark Hamill, 100% confirmed. I wish. So this movie digs deep into the nostalgia bag, right? They just try to pull up as many old characters as possible in order to make people they want to see they basically want to pull nostalgia out and milk it for all they can, right? Another thing that really pissed me off in the whole movie is everybody's a huge fucking pussy. Rey is crying the whole movie, all right? Kylo cries, and then at the end of the movie, when everybody wins, like they're all just hugging and crying, and it's like, what are you like? Are all you people coming from fucking broken home? Like, people don't cry when that shit happens. When you have such a massive victory, like look at the end of Return of the Jedi, right? When they won and they were on the moon of Endor. Everybody was happy, and they're all uplifted and happy. Nobody was like, "Oh, I'm so happy, we're gonna cry." And it's like they're just like trying to milk people for emotions, and I don't know. It's just a reflection of people who are writing this shit and everything. So okay, it's gonna make $1 billion. Then nobody will watch this abomination. The Star Wars name. Well, I don't even think The Last Jedi made $1 billion, dude. Let me see. Last Jedi box office total. Did it? Oh, look, 1.3 billion for The Last Jedi. I don't know, man. What did the Force? I think the Force Awakens made the most. Force Awakens box office was 2 billion. So it went from 2 billion to 1.3 billion, which is a huge drop. And then it went to 1.3 billion. I mean, even if it does make that, the damage will be done. A lot of that will be coming from foreign markets. So yeah, and then you got Kathleen Kennedy wearing shit like this. Somebody in the chat said, "Future is female." You got this. So I bet you she called up her pals at Google to get it erased. Let's see, Kennedy. Here we go. Oh no, that's what she wrote. Not the future is female. Excuse me. This is after The Force Awakens. Here's look at this disgusting human. She's right. The Force is female, saying that the Force is now a gender. And why didn't you choose one of the other 72 fucking genders, lady? Why'd you choose females, right? If you're so fucking woke and you're so, genius and you're just so like better than men, right? And it's hilarious because what she does is when this happens, she blamed it. She said like toxic masculinity was to be blamed, right? Toxic masculinity. And then she said it was conservatives as well, right? So it's just, like I said, pure blown AIDS. Full blown AIDS, pure just garbage. So, and this movie is, another thing that was with this movie was so rushed. There was no depth to anything. It was just like I was watching it and I couldn't feel anything. It didn't pull me in. It was like an emotionless watching of a stream. And I just was just like, what the fuck, man? So the movie starts off and they're like, a mysterious transition was received and it was the voice of Emperor Palpatine. So somehow, out of nowhere, because the movie is such an abortion, that J.J. Abrams, who is, Kathleen Kennedy's little bitch boy, basically, because Rian Johnson fucked up and everybody in the world hates that guy now. And everybody hates him, including Mark Hamill doesn't like him, right? So somehow Palpatine gets thrown over into, you know what? Let's just fucking do this. Let's just do it. Let's just pull up the original scene and demonetize my fucking thing because I don't give a shit. I can't be bought like these fucking idiots on YouTube. Let's just watch how Palpatine dies. And you be the judge, people in the audience, okay? You out there, you tell me. What do you think? Okay? So, let's take a look here. This is the original Star Wars scene. Okay, this is from the last original movie, Return of the Jedi, right?
Will not be turned. You will be destroyed.
So Luke had just beat Darth Vader in a lightsaber fight, and he refused to kill him. And then now Emperor Palpatine is electrocuting him and shocking him and fucking him up. And that is Darth Vader's son, right? So he shocks the shit out of him, shocks him, and then Vader finally, like, he just can't see his son, like, suffer anymore. And he grabs the Emperor, and the Emperor shocks him and fucks up his breathing suit. and he throws him down. He throws him down that shaft, right? So, and he gets vaporized. He gets vaporized, okay? He gets vaporized, and then, okay, then he's on the Death Star, and the Death Star, okay, then we got this. So now they're heading into the exact same thing that the Emperor Palpatine was just thrown into, and then now you have this, right?
There it is.
All right, Wedge, go for the power regulator on the North Tower.
Copy, Gold Leader. I'm already on my way out.
Move the fleet away from the Death Star.
So notice how the thing got completely fucking vaporized, okay? Completely just sent out into the fucking voids of space. So he's thrown down that shaft, vaporized by that blast, and then the whole thing blows up. But somehow, he's alive. And he's in great condition, too, for being like that. Take a look at this. So here, like the images of him are right here, okay? That right there is Emperor Palpatine in Rise of Skywalker, okay? That's him there. Full body, fully intact. He's on some sort of like a life support machine. But yeah, 100% A-okay. Like vaporize the Death Star, kill everybody on board, but not me. Not me, because the Force, or because J.J. Abrams, right? It's just like, so that's what they start off with desperation, like, Emperor Palpatine is alive. Okay, great. And it starts off with Kylo Ren looking for Emperor Palpatine, right? And so the whole movie's like, what? Huh? Like, so Palpatine's just alive out of nowhere, and now this is what we're doing. This is where we're at. So then he is going full emo, and he's fucking like going to meet him, and he's like, basically he uses the Force, and he's been creating this entire fleet of Star Destroyers, like 100 Star Destroyers with Death Star cannons on them that can destroy planets, right? And then we cut to Rey. And who is she being trained by? Can't raise no Jedi by no man. Not in 2019. Not coming out of Southern California. We got to go by the social justice warrior playbook. And guess who is training her to be a Jedi? Leia. Yes, the passed away Carrie Fisher. They CGI'd her face and used, voice manipulation. And basically, they brought her back to life, even though she's dead, right? So Rey is there floating in the sky with rocks around her, and then then they get like some kind of, she tries to make a communication with all the Jedi. She's like, I can't do it. I'm fucking bad. I'm just not good enough. Oh my God. Right? Because she's trying to contact all the other Jedi that passed away and trying to be part of the fucking, the whole fucking, the Jedi past, right? So then here starts the sequence of chasing. The whole movie's just like, we got to chase this item. Now we got to chase this. Now we got to chase this. Now we got to do this. And it all feels so rushed and so meaningless. The movie just feels so like, it just like a carbon copy, like a fucking just like, don't question, just consume type of movie, right? So we're gonna talk about Leia because it's great, man. It's just like any opportunity it's subtle. I have to give them, it is a little subtle, but they just shit on men the whole time, and women are all in charge as usual. Women are in charge, and men are like complete pussies in this movie. So then they're like, okay, we got to like, we got to find Kylo Ren, and then so Kylo does the Force Skype thing with her. He like connects with her in the Force, and now apparently he can like just wherever he is, just using the Force, because the Force. Like when in doubt, the Force, right? Like how did Palpatine survive? Oh, the Force. How did Rey become so strong? Oh, the Force. Why was Rey able to defeat the more trained person, the more proficient user in the Force? Oh, the Force. Like that's just like, this is like, again, that's like dumb female writing in my opinion. Like it doesn't make, like, the reason why Star Wars was so successful and the reason why men loved it, because it was so logically sound and pure. Okay? There was fucking logic behind everything that was done in such a sci-fi fantasy way that, this, it was just like, it was so intricate. Like the fucking X-Wing details, the A-Wings, the Y-Wings, right? I don't even like the fucking Y-Wings, right? All of these things, the lore, the fighting styles of the the 7 art forms that the Jedis use for lightsaber combat, right? All of these things were so detailed, and they just didn't even pay attention to any of this because they had a corporate agenda which was riddled with SJW politics, and it's just like, it's just fucking full-blown AIDS. It makes no sense. So now, okay, so they're like, we have to find, of course, dude, you watch it on Instagram. Come over to YouTube, youtube.com, type in Modern Life Dating, Interview with the Man, episode 179, Rise of Skywalker, Killed by Feminism, right? So then she gets like some Force Skype vision or whatever with Kylo. And then they're like, oh, we got to go to this planet and we have to go find this Sith holocron that will give us the location of Emperor Palpatine. And then we're going to go there and kill Emperor Palpatine. Like the most hollow, unentertaining, dumb storyline with like fucking more, like just more fucking holes inside of it than Swiss cheese. The plot is just fucking... It's more teared up than a fucking like fucking sorority girl's vagina. It's just ripped to shreds, man. Oh, fucking hell. And so then what happens next? They go to this planet and then they're like, hey, we got to like find this Sith holocron because Luke was looking for it on this planet, right? Luke Skywalker. They looked through the books that she stole from Luke and found that like Luke was looking for it because Luke couldn't finish the job. But of course, here comes Whammon, and she can do everything because she's a woman, right? So she goes to this desert planet, and then Kylo Ren Force Skypes her, right? And he's using Force Skype, and he's like, hey, why did you take my hand? Why did you love me, baby? Like basically begging like a little fucking dork. And then a nice side note here is like Finn is like beta male orbiting her nonstop, like the whole movie. So, let me mention this before. So the opening scene with her is training in the jungle, and then it cuts to Poe and Finn going to get some secret information from a contact on some planet. And Poe like bangs up the Millennium Falcon pretty bad. Like they land on the jungle planet and it's on fire. And Rey like runs over to him and she's like yelling at him. She's like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" And blah blah blah. And then she says, "You know what? You're such a difficult man." And like and it's not me like trying to like nitpick and like pull this out, but like they stopped everything and focused when she says like, "You know, you're such a difficult man." And okay. Whatever, right? I'll let it slide. Even though I picked up on it, I was like, great. Here we go. Like, you see how physically frustrated I'm getting from this shit? It's like, and I'm a real goddamn Star Wars fan. It's 4:42 in the goddamn morning. I haven't slept, and I'm doing this goddamn thing, man. It's just like full-blown AIDS, man. Full-blown AIDS. This shit is just like uncurable disease, and it's just going after your immune system. It's just terrible. So, okay. So then, Chess Duncan, what's up, man? Welcome. People are so upset with the last two because that's the style he films in. They pander to the fan base, so this is what we get the reveals. I guarantee you if they let him do what he wanted, you would never know all the little secrets that we have known from all the leaks. I don't know. It's so stupid that, like, their whole plan was just so terrible. And it's all because of Kathleen Kennedy. She's the one who approved everything. Let me tell you guys this, okay? This is how out of touch they are. Bob Iger, who is the president and CEO of Disney, had to step in because one of the deleted scenes, and I kid you not, this was in the original plan, guys, okay? One of their original plans was they had a scene with the Millennium Falcon, and Chewie and Lando and C-3PO and R2-D2 were all on the Millennium Falcon, and it was shot down and it crashed and exploded and killed everybody. I'm not joking. That's what really fucking happened. And Bob Iger was just like, bitch, have you lost your fucking mind? Bob Iger's a goddamn fool to even leave her in charge. So they had to pull that from the script. And like, this is how uneducated, this is how talentless and stupid these fucking people in Southern California are. Because they're all infected with that liberal mind disease. You see, that's what's happening. Is like all the companies, Apple, all the products are shit recently. Shit products, overpriced. I can build my computer is like, let's just say the iMac Pro, $5,000, right? My computer is light years better than that piece of shit. And my computer only cost me $2,300. That includes the monitor, okay? That is including the fucking monitor. And my light up fucking keyboard and all the other bells and whistles that I really don't need to do. I just got for fucking fun. Modern Warfare recently supposed to come out. Teams based out of California, right? Complete abortion. Like, the game is so fucked up because they're trying to make a safe space in the video game. They literally said, we want to make a safe space in this video game for players. A video game that the basis of the video game is to pull out guns and blow each other's fucking brains out. They want to make a safe space. I'm not even joking. The game is riddled with bugs, okay? It is riddled with fucking trouble. It's unplayable. I stopped playing it. I can't even play it anymore. Okay, the hit detection's bad. The maps are bad. The spawn points are bad. Coming out of Southern California, right? All this Star Wars movies just awful. Okay, now, so she's on this planet looking for this Sith holocron, right? And then Kylo Ren force Skypes her, and he's like, some little girl comes up to her and touches her like, what's your name? My name's Rey. What's your last name, right? I don't have a last name. Like, okay, we know where this is fucking going. Oh, I don't have a last name. Okay, cool, whatever. So then the little girl takes a necklace and puts it on her neck, and then she stands up, and then Kylo force Skypes her, and he's like, hey, bitch, like, what the fuck are you doing? And then, I kid you not, he reaches through the Force and grabs her necklace and rips it off of her. This motherfucker's on the other side of the goddamn galaxy. And he uses the Force, because when in doubt, just fucking throw some Force on it. He Force Skypes her, rips the fucking necklace off, and pulls that necklace back to his ship. And then he gives it to his fucking he gives it to the one of his little lackeys, and he's like, he's like, analyze this. Like, where is this from? Oh, it's on this planet. Great. Let's fucking go there. Right? Really happy. Like, thank God I got Force Skype, because, you know, now I'm able to reach through the space-time continuum and just pull things from other side of the galaxy. Then why didn't you just pull Rey through? Why don't you just reach through and grab onto her and pull her through, right? Because you can pull objects. So what, you can only pull dead things? You can't pull things that are alive? It makes no fucking sense. So then he goes there, and then they're walking around with Chewbacca, and, you know, Chewbacca stands out on this planet. So they all start, then the stormtrooper comes and be like, hey, like, what the fuck are you doing? And then someone shoots the stormtrooper in the face with a crossbow. It's a masked person. They take him into, like, they bring him back into, like, this little truck, and they're like, all right, guys, like, what the fuck's going on? And he takes off his mask. He's like, it's Lando Calrissian, right? And thank God they didn't fucking pussify him. But that's probably because he identified as pansexual in Solos, so they fucked up his past as well, right? So then they get inside there, and they're like, well, he's like, listen, bitch, me and Luke looked up and down all this whole planet for this Sith holocron. Like, you're not going to do it. She's like, I'm going to go do it. I can finish what Luke didn't. He's like, I can finish what Luke couldn't finish, right? Like, okay, the greatest Jedi of all time, you, some fucking bum from some shithole planet who's been training with the Force, like, all of, like, what, not even a year, right? Worst case, even if it's a year. But somehow she's, like, the most powerful Jedi now. So then they get on some speeders. The Poe hotwires the speeders, and then they go and they have this little chase scene, and the stormtroopers can fly. They're like, oh, I can fly, and the stormtroopers chase them. And then they're in the midst of it all. Their stormtroopers blow up their speeders, but they kill the stormtroopers. And then they get pulled underground by some, like, sandworm, right? And as they're about to be pulled over, Finn is like, Rey, there's something I've got to tell you if we're going to die. And it's like he's getting ready to confess his love for her. She's like, bitch, I don't even fucking love you. I don't even know. Like, I'm obsessed with Kylo Ren. Get the fuck away from me. But, of course, just like the real world, women don't throw away their beta orbiters. They need that attention. They need that sustenance, right? They're parasitic in that sense. So she's going to keep her little dutiful beta around as her backup plan in case her eggs start drying up, right? And, you know, that's what she keeps him around as. And it's so fucking awful what they did to Finn, because Finn had, like, such potential. And you want to talk about, like, you know, calling everybody racist. They took, like, the only black lead character and made him a complete comic relief buffoon, all right? So then they get pulled under the ground, and now they're in these, like, tunnels, right? And they're, like, looking around for, like, this like, oh, they're looking around for this dagger. That's what they're looking for, an artifact that has the inscription on it of where the fucking holocron is. So you got to find this thing to find another thing to find the last thing. That's the rise of Skywalker, fucking scavenger hunt, right? So I was hoping he would be a Jedi too, man. Like that like, if they were gonna do anything, Luke should have fucking he should have trained Rey and Finn to be Jedis. Luke should have gone and showed, like, a tremendous amount of strength and power, and, like, fucked up all these AT-ATs and killed all these people people want to see tremendous power of the Force used by Luke Skywalker. That's why people went to Force Awakens. But these people are just too stupid to get it. They're just too fucking dumb. And so then like, if anything, Luke should have gone out and, like, died like a fucking boss, going out to like, going up against like Snoke or Snoke and Kylo, something like that, right? But Rian Johnson really fucked everything up with The Last Jedi by, like, killing Snoke and making Kylo the main bad guy. And it's like, she won against Kylo in the first movie. She, like, bested him, and she never even picked up a lightsaber, and she bested him, right? Can you imagine that? That's like, you never have picked up a sword in your life, but you all of a sudden, like, you meet this guy who's like a master samurai sword master, right? Or like kendo master or whatever. You never picked up a sword in your entire life, and you fucking beat the brakes off this dude. You school him and fuck him up. Like I said, there's no logic in this movie. That's why men don't like it, because men are logical creatures. You know why Star Wars was successful? Because it was really fucking nerdy, really logical, and it followed the hero's journey. And that this movie literally did nothing of that. And that's why this movie sucked. That's why that's why they call him the fandom menace, right? Okay, that's why the whole thing is just a fucking abortion. They didn't follow anything. That's the point we got to in American society. It's like women just say like, oh, I'm just a woman. I'm better. I'm a woman. Because I'm a woman. I'm powerful. I'm better, right? That's what people thought with Hillary Clinton. They're just like, oh, she's a woman. She's gonna win because she's a woman and it's a woman's turn, right? And guess what? She took like huge gap in her campaign. I think she had like a fucking 150-day gap, 200-day gap or something where she didn't do any rallies. Meanwhile, Trump was doing rally after rally after rally, and that shit compounds and fucking adds up. And guess what? He won. Even with the whole grab him by the pussy scandal, he still won. And that's the difference between men and women, ladies and gentlemen. Good night. So that's what we have here. So now, okay. So she has to go find this Sith dagger. Right? An artifact. Here's another thing. They randomly crash because their speed bikes blow up, right? Randomly. They didn't plan this. And then they randomly crash and they fall on this quicksand pit, and then they fall under the quicksand into some tunnels, and then they walk like 20 feet and they're like, oh wait, here's the artifact. Like, we found it. It's right here. Oh, thank God. The force, right? The force led me here. The force timed everything. Like, okay. So then there's this sandworm under the fucking tunnels, right? And there's like little things where they like try to like shit on men in the movie. Like, so Rey, she steps up and like the camera's here. She steps up and she lights up her lightsaber to look around. But she lights it up, and then Poe stands up next to her, and he lights up he just flicks on his flashlight, and it's like she has a big one and he has a little one, right? It's like a little fucking her dick is bigger than his thing. I don't know, right? So this big ass snake is there, this like sandworm kind of thing, and Poe he pulls his gun out. And he's about to blast the thing, and then Rey's like, wait, stop. And she like yells at him. She's like constantly scolding him and yelling at him too in the whole movie. So then he fucking she hands the lightsaber to Finn. Or she's like, hold the lightsaber, right? And she sees that the sandworm has like a big gaping wound on it, and so she like steps inside because he's coiled up and he's like this. She steps over him. She puts her hand on it. And then she heals it with the force, right? So now we got force healing. And then they're like, what the hell? And then they're like, oh, yeah, she's like, all I did was transfer some of my life force into it. And then the snake gets healed and moves away, and then there's an open spot behind them. Well, they could have just blown its fucking brains out or cut it up. Like, it was just like not even that big. So that, yes, message me there, Colin. I'm in the middle of a show, obviously. So yeah, she does some kind of force healing, right? So then, they go up to this guy's ship, and C-3PO is like, oh, I can read this Sith language, but I'm forbidden to say anything about it because my programming, whatever. And they're like, what the fuck, your programming, blah blah blah. And then Kylo Ren starts to show up because he's force Skyped her and he tracked her down, right? So now they're up inside this guy's this dude's fucking yeah, I know that, Felix, but they that's what Lucasfilm was saying. They said you needed to watch episode 7 before you watched this movie, okay? Yes, fullblownaids.com, fullblownaids.org, fullblownaids.net. That's the whole movie, man. Just www.fullblownaids.org. www.fullblownuncurableaids.org, aka Rise of Skywalker. So then she goes. They go up to this dude's because they had to find this guy who had the Sith dagger. He's already dead. So they go up to his ship and they're like, okay, C-3PO, we got to do this shit. And then they go outside, and Chewie goes outside to like check out what's going on. And then the Knights of Ren are there, and the Knights of Ren are basically like Kylo Ren's like little bodyguards, right? And they all have like weapons and shit. And they didn't even show like any proper development for these people. You're just supposed to know who they are. Like they don't introduce them, they don't say anything. You're just like supposed to know. And I'm like I know about this Star Wars shit, so I know, but it wasn't even introduced in the fucking movie. It wasn't even done that, right? So then they go outside. Rey is like tells Finn like, stay here. I'm gonna go out to confront Kylo. Kylo's in his TIE fighter, right? And Rey goes out with just her lightsaber, and then Chewie goes out after to like go grab Rey, but it turns out the Knights of Ren are there, and then they capture Chewie. They lock his hands together, and then they put him on transport, and they're gonna arrest him, right? So then Kylo is speeding in on his TIE fighter, and Rey is standing there, and all she does is she turns her back to him, right? Doesn't even look at him, pulls out her lightsaber, and then jumps and turns on her lightsaber and cuts the fucking wing off of his TIE interceptor, and he tumbles forward and crashes and explodes, right? Then Rey turns around and sees like the transport is being taken away with Chewbacca inside, right? And she doesn't know Chewbacca's inside. They're like, Rey, stop that. You got to stop those guys. Chewie's in there. So then Rey uses the Force to like hold this huge transport in place. She's holding it, right? And she's holding the whole fucking... Yeah, Buck, I fucking told you, Barrett, I'm going to be spoiling it. I told you fucking like yesterday and at the beginning of this damn video. I told you it's going to be spoiled. So Rey is using the Force to like hold the transport, and she's pulling it closer and pulling it closer, right? And then Kylo walks out of this explosion somehow. Like he must have used the Force too, because that shit tumbled and fucking was just like on fire. And then and then he starts pulling it, right? And then Rey gets angry and starts pulling it more, and then out of nowhere, like an unexpected period, fucking out of nowhere, lightning shoots out of her fingers and blows up the transport and supposedly kills Chewbacca and everybody inside of it. Okay? And then Kylo's like, oh, ha, ha, yes, I just wanted you to come to the dark side, bitch. And then Poe is screaming, oh my god, Chewbacca's dead. And then Finn is there like, oh my god, you killed Chewbacca, he's dead. And then they bring her, like they chase after the fucking the First Order ship, right? Earlier they also mentioned that there's a spy amongst the First Orders, and there's a spy sending them information within the First Order. So then they go on to the First Order ships, right? And so now they're on the First Order ship, and the fucking people on the ship, it's just like, it's so fucking, it's so bad, dude. It's so bad. So the original plan was this. So now they got the Sith dagger, right? And they had and then C-3PO can read it, but he has his memory and programming is locked, so he can't fucking do anything about it. But then Poe's like, oh, I know this guy on this planet who can reprogram C-3PO's mind, and then he can be able to let us know the location of the Sith artifact, right? As long as we have this dagger. So then they go to the ship of the First Order, right? And they get on the ship, and then and here's the thing. I fell asleep. This is how bad this movie was, okay? So I kind of fell asleep around this part. And because it was just so bad. It was so fucking bad. It was terrible. Yeah. He bottled it. She showed aisles. He bottled it. You know, a dude that banged Daisy Ridley. Anyways, so now they're on the ship, right? And somehow Finn and Poe are just like randomly. Okay, no. So then it shows General Hux, the redheaded guy, right? And they're like, they show him, and then General Hux sees. They're like, we got this prisoner from the planet, and he was on a separate transport. And they're like, oh, great, who is it? And they come around the corner, and it's Chewbacca, right? He's alive. Somehow there's some unpictured transport that wasn't shown at all. And I guess just for the lulz, I don't know what the fuck the point of that was, but they thought Chewbacca was dead. So then Poe and Finn find Chewbacca on the ship. They're like, oh my God, we're so happy you're alive. And then Rey goes and into Kylo Ren's quarters and sees like the Darth Vader helmet, and she touches it, and then he force Skypes her again. And he force Skypes her, and she's in there alone, but then somehow he teleports into his quarters using the Force, and he's a lightsaber fighting her. And then he's also on like a little planet, so like he hits like this satchel of berries, and they go through the Force Skype loop teleportation thing, and they spill everywhere. And now they're still lightsaber fighting using the Force Skype, and they're Force Skyping and they're lightsaber fighting. And then the berries fall everywhere. And then he fucking ends up coming back to the transport and getting her, right? So he flies in, and then he confronts her in the bay. So Poe and Finn and all of them, they find everybody. And then, okay, so Poe and Finn were for taking. God, I'm all over the place because this movie was so bad. It was so fucking bad. It's hard to keep track of it all. Okay. So like I said, so he's somehow he's force Skype fighting her with the lightsaber, and then he stops, and then Poe and Finn were taken prisoner. But what happens is General Hux, the redhead, he comes in, he's like, I'm the spy, I'm going to set you guys free. And they're like, yo, what the fuck are you doing this for? And he's like, oh, because I just want to see Kylo Ren fail. I hate him so much. And then Poe, right before he lets Finn go, he says, hey, Finn, listen, I want you to shoot me in the shoulder because these people are going to have questions, and they're going to ask me, like, how did I get away? Like, how did I let them get away? I have to let them know you overpowered me and you shot me. And then Finn looks at him and he shoots him in the leg, and he falls on the ground. He's like, ah, right? So then they run down to the dock, and then this is where they all get on the ship, and then Rey has to confront Kylo Ren again and defeat him for the fucking second time in the movie. Okay? So they're about to fight, and then here's the best part. Okay, so spoiler alert for all you fucking retards who aren't paying attention. All right? So now all the stormtroopers are there watching her. Kylo Ren has arrived now. He's no longer using Force Skype. He fucking used he got another TIE fighter and got there somehow. And then he's like, Rey, search your feelings. You know it's true. And she's like, what is true? He's like, your parents. Because when he was Force Skyping her, he was telling her that her parents like were threw her away when she was little and got rid of her. And he's like, here's the truth about you, Rey. You may not know this, but actually, you're Emperor Palpatine's granddaughter. Your name is Rey Palpatine. Okay? So Rey is the fucking granddaughter of Emperor Palpatine. That's real. Rey, this fucking bum, is the granddaughter of Emperor Palpatine. And so I'm just sitting there like, how anticlimactic. Like, at least, like, you know, when and here's another thing. Like, when Luke found out he was Darth Vader's son. He had gone and trained with the greatest Jedi alive at that time, which was Yoda. And he was training for a while, and he was learning how to use the Force. And Yoda told him, like, dude, you're not ready. You're not fucking ready. And he was like, look, fuck you. I'm going to go. But before that, Luke saw a vision, okay? Luke saw a vision of Darth Vader coming at him, and he fought Darth Vader, and he cut his head off, but inside of the helmet was Luke Skywalker's face, and he saw this vision. And Yoda was like, listen, dude, don't fucking go. You're not ready. You couldn't even pull the goddamn X-Wing out of the swamp. You suck. You're going to go get your ass whooped. Don't do it. So Luke goes, he fights Darth Vader, he's almost winning, and then he's fighting Darth Vader, and Darth Vader cuts his fucking hand off. And then Luke is like holding on for dear life, and he's like, Luke, Obi-Wan never told you about my father. He's like, you told me you killed him. And he's like, no, Luke, I am your father. And it's like, oh my fucking God, are you serious? Like, we built up all the way to this point, and you just lost, and like, what? This guy's the bad guy. He's your fucking father? What the hell? And it was like one of the most pinnacle moments in cinema history. Compared to this one, he's like, oh yeah, by the way, you're Emperor Palpatine's granddaughter. Right? So, and then who is Emperor Palpatine fucking within the last 19 years? Because Rey's only 19 years old. So who and this guy, so that's his granddaughter, right? So even if it's okay, so let's say her mom was 30 when she had her. So 49 years ago. So 49 years ago, there's still a huge gap between. I guess technically he could have been alive, but then he's alive like as that like fucking creature, and who's fucking that thing, right? So yeah, there's just more storyline errors, right? And then Poe and Finn come to save her, and they like turn the Millennium Falcon's like boosters towards the fucking dock, and they turn it on maximum blast, but they don't move somehow. They turn on maximum blast, but they don't move. But that blast pushes all the stormtroopers, and except for Rey and Kylo Ren. And now they're like, okay. And then Finn's like, jump, Rey, I'm gonna save you. And he holds on and he pulls her in, and then they light speed out of there, right? So now they're gonna go to some other planet. And they go to some other fucking planet to find the guy who can rewire C-3PO's brain so they can read the fucking inscription on the dagger, to go find the holocron, to take the holocron, to go find the fucking planet that Palpatine's on so Rey can kill Palpatine. Okay? So then they go to this fucking planet. They find the guy, and then turns out they're like that Poe was a drug dealer back in the day, and now they're like, oh my God, you're a drug dealer. You're selling spice, because spice is like drugs in the Star Wars world, and like so that's what Han Solo was known from. The reason that the reason why Jabba the Hutt took was after Han Solo is because Han Solo had a load of spice that he was supposed to deliver. But he got caught by, I think he gambled the money away and like lost all the spice. And then he just started running away from Jabba, something along those lines. But I know it's spice related, and spice is drugs in the Star Wars universe. So then they were fighting, and they didn't do anything, and she escaped, right? Then they go to this other planet, and so on this other planet I fell asleep too because it was just so boring. So then they find like this little dude. He's like this big, and they're like, "Hey, can you fucking do this and that for us?" And they rewire C-3PO's brain. Poe runs into like his ex-girlfriend or something, and she's like never takes off her helmet, just has her eyes showing, and she has a nice body in the leather suit that she's wearing. And then she's like she gets mouthy with Rey, and then like Rey like whoops her ass and like throws her on the floor and like puts the lightsaber to her neck. She's like, don't make me do this, So then the whole situation gets even more HIV infected, right? Like this is like, hey, like the HIV evolved into cancer at the same time, and hepatitis A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all that shit, lymphoma, influenza, fever, the common cold, gonorrhea, herpes, everything. Like, this is just, it goes deeper, right? They report back to the planet, and the frumpy little Asian that everybody hated from The Last Jedi is talking to Leia, who's the general of the fucking resistance, right? And the guy's like, well, this big fat guy comes over, and he's like, we lost fucking everybody, and oh my god, this shit went wrong, and you know, we lost contact with fucking Rey, we lost contact with Poe, and they got to go find this thing to go find the planet. So they got to go find the fucking dude to read the dagger, so the dagger can tell him where the holocron is, and the holocron can tell him where the planet is, so we can go defeat him. And now we can't do it. And they're like, oh my god, like, you're really negative. Like, you need to be more optimistic about this situation. And then he's just sitting there, he's dumb, and he's like, guys, I think we can do it. And he just like turns, he like just starts being really optimistic, and then they both like look at each other and look at him and like shake their head like, oh, you dumb man. You know, it's just like these little like things, like the women are always like in these positions of leadership, and they're always like just looking down on men like, oh my god, what a dummy, what a fucking dummy, right? And so then they rewire C-3PO, but they have to erase his memory, right? And he's like, okay, fine, erase my memory. Then they erase it, and then they read that, okay, the fucking Sith holocron is, they read what the dagger says, and like, oh, it's on Endor, right? It's on the actual planet of Endor. So they go to Endor, right? And then here's more continuity bullshit. If you see fucking, let me see, Rise of Skywalker trailer. Let me see if I can find this. If you see this fucking trailer, let me see, Endor. Okay.
Our friends won't.
All right, shut the fuck up. Where's the scene? Just show me the goddamn scene. 1 second. I'm pulling it up for you guys so you can see exactly, because I want to make a point here.
2015 was my year.
Great.
2016 is also my year. Every year is my fucking year.
Hold on. Rise of Skywalker. Endor. All right. So then they go to Endor, and lo and behold, there's part of the fucking Death Star right there. That's part of the Death Star. Even though it got completely vaporized, they right there. They actually go inside the wreckage of the Death Star. So, and this thing has been sitting there for at least 40 years, but it's just chilling. Everything's okay. No rot, no nothing. Just maybe the Force held it together, right? Because when in doubt, force, right? Fucking forcing this goddamn movie on down our throat. So now they're on Endor, and out of nowhere, this like they land, and then this black chick rides up on them. She's like, "Hey, like, what are you guys doing?" And they're like, "Oh, you know, we're here to get this shit because like we got this dagger, and this fucking dagger is like telling us where this holocron is." And so then Rey like looks at the dagger, and like she realizes there's a little thing on it, and she opens it, and then the dagger says only this dagger can show you where it is. So then she like takes the dagger, and she like holds it up against the landscape, and she's like looking through it, and then it just happens to match, and she's like, oh, okay, it's right there. It's right there. Oh, let's see. My boy sent me Ethereal Warrior. What's up, bro? He says, thanks for enduring this for us. I'm glad it's going to fail. Maybe a wake up for libs, but probably not. They're insane. Yeah, they want to go down with the ship. Okay. So then, so now she's like, we got to go there. And then like the black chick who lives on the planet, she's like, I forgot her name, like something. I don't know. I fucking don't know. And then she's like, oh, you know, you have to wait till tomorrow morning when the waters calm down. They're like, we don't have time. And they're like, okay, well, we'll trust you. You live here. Let's go. And so they all start going. And then they're like, wait a minute, where's Rey? And Rey takes like the skipper, right? And she goes across to the water, and she goes inside the Death Star wreckage, and she's like looking around for the Sith holocron, right? So she's inside there, and then she has a vision, and then she starts fighting like evil Dark Ray, right? And Dark Ray has like this double-ended like bow staff lightsaber, and she starts fighting it, and then she like starts using her lightsaber to fight it, and then the double thing is like, oh, you know, give into your evil. You're a Palpatine. You have to give into your evil, which is so stupid, bro. Like fucking dumb. But then Kylo tracks her using Force Skype GPS. I don't know. Somehow Kylo is able to find her, right? And he finds the holocron, and he takes it from her, and he's like, you want to find Palpatine? He's like, you got to go with me to kill Palpatine together. And she's like, no, I'm not following no man. And then he crushes it, right? And then here's where I think they tried to make up for it in the movie. So now they're going to fight again, right? They get in a lightsaber fight. Hey, who do you think's going to win this lightsaber fight, right? Who do you think? Type it in the chat. Who do you think's going to win? Because I who's confused? Who has some suspense? Like, here they're going to fight. Here's comes the third time they're going to fight. Who's going to win this time, right? So then yeah, Baron, that's really good. Baron Kalik in the chat says, honestly, which feminist or gay dude or lesbian girl watches the Star Wars movie and thinks, hey, why is there no kiss scene between two women? Why are droids not fighting for their rights? I don't want to see Star Wars for none of that bullshit. I feel so wrong. Exactly. So, okay. So, right. And so, Tony's right. It's actually Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda comes in and force chokes her and, like, crawls up inside her vagina and then uses the force and, like, explodes from her inside her uterus and vaporizes her. But she uses the force to come back. And then she uses the force to come back and starts fighting Kylo Ren. But here, I think they try to intentionally show that Kylo Ren was always letting her win, right? Because the fans pointed out in episode in Force Awakens and in fucking The Last Jedi, they were like, hey, you know, this fucking this movie it makes no logical sense. We should try to make some sense. And so Kylo doesn't even pull out his lightsaber, and he's like just dodging, and he's like, haha, bitch, and like he's like using the force to like push her lightsaber away, and he's like dodging her, whatever. And then he pulls out his fucking lightsaber, and then they start fighting, right? Okay, yeah, and then they fight from inside the from inside the Death Star. In my opinion, a really vanilla fucking lightsaber scene, like the lightsaber fight scenes in this movies, because they're all directed by fucking nerds, like dorks who have no idea. Like J.J. Abrams, that guy can't fight. Ryan Johnson, that fucking dork can't fight. That's why all the lightsaber fights in all these were just awful. So they have like this really vanilla ass fight, and then they get to this point, and then Kylo just starts whooping her ass, right? And he's just like everything she does is futile, and he's just like smiting her down, right? And then so it cuts back to Princess Leia Organa, right? And then this is so fucking stupid too. Like they didn't even need to do this, but they did it. So they cut back to her, and then like one of the women around her, like the lady with, I forgot her name, the little orange creature that wears like the goggles that she gave Rey the lightsaber in Return of the Jedi. Or The Last Jedi. Or maybe it was Force Awakens. Whatever fucking AIDS movie it was. So, then they fucking... Yeah, Felix, that's a very good app. Felix Lazarus says, just like feminism infiltrates masculine hobbies, forces the men out, that changes the rules, and then leaves it to die when they get bored. They've done this to Star Wars. Absolutely. Okay? So, now... Kylo's whooping her ass, and then what they say is, they're like, "Oh shit, Maz, that's her name. Leia stands up, and then Maz looks at her and like, oh my god, she has to do something. It's gonna use all of her life force." And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? Like, so basically, you just told me she's about to die. Like, you didn't have to fucking do that. You didn't have to say that. Like, Like, at least give me some sort of suspense. I didn't even know that this was gonna happen. I knew Leia was gonna die, but so Leia then uses the Force to Skype Ben, and Ben is like smiting Rey down. He's about to fucking kill her, and then he hits her to the floor, and she's there, and he's about to go for the finishing blow, and then Leia, who's his mom, Force Skypes him, and she just says Ben. And he hears his word, hears mom's voice, and he drops the lightsaber. And he's like just thinking there. And then Rey takes his lightsaber and stabs him in the stomach and kills him. Right? So she stabs Kylo, and he falls down. He has like this mortal wound. He's like bleeding out, and he's about to die. And then Rey it's like, oh my God, what did I do? I succumbed to the dark side of the Force. And she fucking stands up and then heals him, right? So then she uses the Force to heal him, right? Because when in doubt, throw some Force on it, right? Fuck the storyline. So she Force heals him, and then they look at each other, and then Rey steals his fucking whip again, steals his TIE fighter for the second time. And she just steals it. So she takes his TIE interceptor and flies it away, right? And then so it cuts to her on Ahch-To, which is the planet Luke Skywalker was on. So the fucking the TIE fighter is on fire, and for some reason she's like picking up wood and like angrily throwing it into the fire as the TIE fighter is burning, right? Because she's like crashed, and she's decided that she's gonna stay on Ahch-To, and she's never gonna fucking go because she fucked up with the Force, and she's like having a temper tantrum, right? Then she takes her lightsaber, she's about to throw it, and she throws it into the fire, and who catches it? Fucking Luke Skywalker. And he's like, catches it, and he's like, okay, like, I'm Force Skyping you from the netherworld, and you can't be doing this shit with your lightsaber, bitch. And she's like, I'm a Palpatine. Wah, I need to just sit here and die. He's like, listen, you're a woman. You're more powerful than men. You can do anything you want. Blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, let me give you, I have something to give you. And then he goes into like his little cavern where he used to live, and he pulls out a brick from the wall, and he unwraps this like cloth. We're like this at this point is like 75% of the movie's done, right? I'm wrapping it up soon here because I'm dying of AIDS. So fucking. So then he gives the fucking her lightsaber, Leia's lightsaber, to Rey, and then he's like, let me tell you something, and they have a flashback, and it shows Luke training Leia, and he's training her, and guess what? During the training session, Leia wins and knocks down Luke, and like Luke falls on the ground, and like Leia wins the training session, right? And then she's like, wait, I can't do this anymore. I had a vision that one day I'm gonna have to like give this lightsaber to my son to help bring back order to the Force or whatever. And he's like, okay, sounds great. Fucking what a shitty ass plot, but okay, yeah, I go along with it. Leia's lightsaber, yeah, makes no sense, dude. I know, dude, I know, I fucking know. So then Luke uses the Force to pull his X-Wing out of the water. The X-Wing's been soaking there for at least like 20 years, but somehow it's fucking working. So he pulls the fucking X-Wing out of the goddamn water, and he's like, all right, Rey, like, you go, girl. Like, and here's like, she had Sith holocron from stealing Kylo's TIE interceptor. And so she plugs it into the X-Wing, and then she turns on her signal, and she leads, like, she's like leading the resistance to go fight Palpatine's army, right? Then you flash back to Ben, Kylo Ren. And so Kylo's standing there. His mom just died, and he's standing in the water. He's like thinking about Rey just saved him. And then you hear somebody say, hey, kid. And it's fucking Han Solo. Han Solo does not even use the Force. Han Solo is not a fucking Jedi, but somehow he's able to come and come back using Force Skype reality touch and he can force Skype fucking Ben, right? So he's like, hey, kid, you know, you got to stop being such an asshole. And Ben's like, I know what I should do, but I don't know if I have the power to do it. He's like, you do, kid, you do. And he takes his lightsaber and he throws it into the water. And like now Ben Solo has returned. Like Kylo Ren has become the light side. Okay. Yeah, no, dude, that's what I'm saying. Luke was able to reach in and like grab shit. The Force Ghosts were able to make Force lightning, hold the lightsaber, use the Force. It's like, so like you're not like death doesn't even matter anymore. So then he has dad moment, and then like he's like, okay, I'm gonna become the light side. And so then they finally go to have the final showdown with Palpatine, right? So Rey goes there. She finds Palpatine. It's like this big arena. He's like, I've prepared everything. I've been alive for whatever, right? And then he says, like, they talk about, like, how, I don't even get this, but they say because, like, Ben and Rey have a connection called, like, the Force Dyad. And so, like, their connection is stronger because they both come from lineage. Like, Ben is a Skywalker because he's the nephew of Luke Skywalker and the great nephew of Anakin Skywalker, who are presumably two of the greatest Jedis of all time. And then this bitch supposedly is important just because she comes from Palpatine, right? Even though she had no training or whatever. So anyways, so then she confronts Palpatine and then he's like, all right, bitch, like you got to kill me. Because all the spirits of the Sith are here in, like, this arena. And they're all, like, these little hooded creatures in the fucking spirits in the fucking arena. And the Resistance is moving in. They're like, we got to call everybody from the galaxy to come help us. And they're going to go have a showdown with all these fucking Star Destroyers, right? So then Palpatine's there. He's like, I've survived and blah, blah, blah. He's like hooked up to a machine. Somehow he survived being thrown down a fucking shaft and then the Death Star being vaporized. He survived both of these. So now he's like, you know, strike me down. And then it shows Kylo Ren. He gets surrounded by the Knights of Ren, but he doesn't he brings a gun with him. But that's it, right? And so he shoots some, like, low-level guards, and then the Knights of Ren surround him, and they start beating his fucking ass. And then Rey can sense that he's with her, and she has both lightsabers on her. She has Luke's and Leia's, right? And so then what happens is she acts like she's about to, like, slash him. So, like, if this is my lightsaber, let me see if I'm going to pull up the camera, do it correctly, okay? So, she takes the lightsaber like this and, like, puts it behind her back like this. Like she's about to fucking strike him down. But then she comes back and the lightsaber's gone, right? And Ben has it. So she Skype sent him a lightsaber. And then it shows Ben Solo and he, like, pulls out the fucking the lightsaber because she Force Skyped it to him. And now he's got the Force Skype lightsaber. And honestly, this part was kind of cool. He's like shrugs his shoulder and he fucking kills all the Knights of Ren. I would say the only character that actually has some fucking development in this entire story is Kylo Ren. From Force Awakens to The Last Jedi, like, he actually evolved as a character. Everybody else, like, was just like fucking AIDS. Fucking just pure AIDS. Okay? So then he kills everybody. And then out of nowhere, these, like, Sith guards are around Rey, and they start shooting her and shit, and she pulls out her other lightsaber. Of course, she effortlessly destroys all of them. And then, Ben comes up, and then it's her and Ben, and they both, like, in unison raise their lightsabers, and they're about to fight Palpatine. And then Palpatine, like, so it says, like, oh, you have Force's dyad. This is unbelievable. And his body's, like, decrepit, and, like, his skin is, like, coming, like, rotting down on his bones, so you can see his bones coming through. And then he's like, oh, my God, you both have the dyad force, and this is unbelievable. And he puts his hands out, and he starts, like, sucking the life force out of them. And then he comes back to life, and he comes off the machine. His eyes turn orange, and he's like, I am the fucking ultimate Sith guy. And then he picks up Ben, using the Force, and he throws him into like this deep ass fucking cave. Dude, it, like, based off of my human eye, what I just saw, he fell at least 200 feet minimum, right? And he fell into like this abyss. So now it's Rey, 2 lightsabers on the floor, her, and then Palpatine starts like telling her like, bitch, you're fucking suck, and you suck a dick, and I'm the shit, and like, you know, I'm the man. And then he takes his hands and he like shoots Force lightning super high up into the sky and starts shooting down all of the rebellion forces with his hands, right? So he's fucking using Force and literally shooting like at least 20 miles up into the air and destroying things. And then so Rey's like, oh my God, you gotta stop doing that. But she's laying on the floor and she's hearing like all the Jedi are like, get up, Rey, you're the number 1 Jedi, Rey. You like basically, you go, girl, you're the number 1, you're fucking great, right? And they're like, it's Mace Windu, like, get up, Rey, you're our last hope, Rey, you're the best, you're the last Jedi, Rey. Like, you know, so dumb. They're like, you're the last Jedi, Rey, get up, get up, get up, get up. And so then it hurts listening to all this after you I know, man. I know. So, wait, no, the ending is, dude, guys, you guys who are not, listen, you guys, the ending is the creme de la creme of like, what the fuck? I'm getting to it, okay? Listen, if you're like half-ass paying attention now, pay attention, because this is the ending. And it is like the most blue pill, beta male, bitch ass shit I have ever seen. So corny, so stupid. It is the dumbest thing ever. It is full blown HIV. Okay? So he's Force shocking everybody, and then Luke is so cheesily says this. He's like, Rey, the Force is with you always. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so fucking cheesy, so stupid. And it was just so poorly done. So then she stood up, and then Palpatine starts shooting the Force lightning at her. And then she takes the fucking the lightsaber, and she is blocking it, right? She's blocking the lightning. She's like, oh my God, it's so difficult. Oh my God, what am I going to do? And then she's like, oh, wait, I just remembered. There's another lightsaber on the floor. So she picks up another lightsaber. She makes an X with her lightsabers. And somehow using the X is reflecting the fucking Force lightning back at Palpatine, right? So he's using the Force lightning, and you could see him, he's getting vaporized and ripped away by the Force lightning. But he could have easily stopped it, because he just had to stop shooting Force lightning, and he wouldn't have killed himself. She's like 10 feet away, walking towards him, and he's shooting Force lightning, but it's like reflecting back at him and like ripping his face away and killing him. But all he had to do was just stop shooting. That's it. All he had to do was just stop shooting, and that's it. He would have not been killed by her. So she does that. She vaporizes him, right? And I guess from holding the X, it was so tiresome for her holding the X that Rey fucking dies. Okay? So Rey falls on the ground and she dies. And her eyes are open. She rolls over. She's fucking dead. And she's there like, and the music is like dramatic and whatever. And then, so you have Rey. She's fucking dead now, right? And then Rey dies. So she fucking dies. And then you see the cliff where they threw over Kylo Ren. And then you see, boom. And you see like one hand come up. And it's fucking Kylo Ren, right? And so Ben Solo, whatever you want to call him. And so he's like limping over. He's like, oh, I just got fucking thrown over a goddamn cliff, but I'm somehow still alive because of the Force, right? So she fucking, no, guys, don't be happy. So then Kylo goes over to Rey's dead body. He picks her up. He hugs her. And he uses the Force to put his life force into her. Then Rey wakes up. She looks at him. She says, Ben. She kisses him. He breaks away. He smiles. He lays down and he fucking disappears and dies. One in the chat if that is the most AIDS ending you have ever heard of. One in the chat. This guy goes full beta male, sacrificial lamb, and fucking like, why are you saving this bitch? For what? For what? Are you joking me? Like, what is the fucking reason? Full blown AIDS, dude. Full blown fucking AIDS. Like, are you joking me? And so Ray doesn't even mourn him. Next thing you know, it just cuts to her in her fucking X-Wing flying away. And then the resistance, they defeat all the people, right? They kill them all. So they kill all the people, all the bad guys die, and then they cut to the jungle where all the resistance members are. So everybody's like hugging and happy. Hey, yeah. Whoa, number one, we survived. And then Poe was the one, Leia made Poe the new general, and everybody's hugging and kissing or whatever. And then Poe looks at his ex-girlfriend. He's like, "You want to kiss me?" basically. And she's like, "No." And then she just walks away. And then they cut to two girls, and then Disney got to be so SJW woke. They have the two girls, and they intentionally have the first lesbian, gay, homosexual scene in Star Wars because you got to check the woke box, right? You got to be woke. Nobody's homophobic here, and we got to like put politics in this fucking movie. So the two women kiss each other and like kiss for a long time, and like what is the purpose of putting that in the movie? Like what, like to what? To educate people or whatever? That's up to people's personal preferences. Like what? Like kids are gonna see this movie. Like what the fuck? And so you have a man getting rejected by a woman, but then you see two women kissing each other. What is that message saying? Okay, and they kept it on there too. And then Rey comes back, and then Poe is like with Finn, and then Rey, Poe, and Finn like do a triple hug, and they all start crying each other. And then Maz watches Leia's body disappear, and then she takes a medal and she gives the medal to Chewbacca, right? Because in the first, like at the end of the movie, they said like Chewbacca never got a medal, and they're like everybody got a medal except for Chewbacca, so they finally gave Chewbacca a medal. They're trying to do some fan service, right? So now, they go back to like Tatooine. Rey goes back to where Luke Skywalker, the first, like where he used to live with Uncle Owen, right? And then she goes down there and she takes Luke and Leia's lightsaber. She like puts him in like a little blanket and like puts it in the sand, and like a hole goes in the sand, and like somehow under the sand the fucking lightsabers meld into one, and she pulls it back out and she turns it on, and it's a lightsaber with a golden blade. And then some old lady who's just like, there's nobody around, but happens to be this old lady, and she's just there walking. She's like, "Who are you? I've never seen you before." She's like, "I'm Rey." She's like, "Rey, what's your last name?" And then Rey looks over to the right, and she sees Luke and Leia standing today, and she looks at the lady. She's like, "Rey Skywalker." And then the fucking movie ends. These people had hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions of dollars to fucking work with. They had they had access to the best talents. They had everything. And this is what you get. Get woke, go broke. Guys, I told you, a lot of you guys found me from my original rant in 2017. Here we are 2 years later, and I told you that if Kathleen Kennedy did not go, feminism would destroy this shit. And you know what? Thank God. This shit is going to fucking red pill a lot of people. This is going to unintentionally red pill a fuck load of people. So, you know, I just want, like, you got to do it the red pill. You got to do these reviews of the red pill lens. So if you guys remember, don't forget, guys, Body Language Mastery is coming up. modernlifedating.com/body language. Scroll down, click on this link right here. The signups are going through the roof, man. I honestly think I may have bitten off more than I could chew, but we'll see. We'll see. The Zoom sessions can go up to 300. So if we have to do 300 people per webinar, fuck it. But I know people are coming. Let me just check. Even like now during the show, I could tell how many people are signed up. So during the show, how many people signed up? 6 people signed up during this time the show was on. So, like I said, signups are going through the roof. This shit's going to be amazing. Yeah, Finn never gets to the girl. No. Poe doesn't get his girl. Nope. Of course not. It was like I said, it was just terrible. It was so terrible. It was just like awful movie. That's why the critics hate it. So watch the feedback coming, because it's just going to be, it's going to be a fucking atrocity. Yeah, no one gives a shit. Yeah, it's awful. Just type in hashtag Rise of Skywalker. Go read everything before they come in and censor it and edit it, and they try to like manipulate people's minds, because that's what they do with social media now. They censor and they edit in order to change your perception, because they think you're dumb, but you're not. And yeah, that's what they're doing. And watch YouTube. Everything's gonna blow. Watch this. I saw it first because I'm in Japan, and I saw it on midnight release in Japan. So I'm ahead of you guys. I'm already in Friday. It's your guys' Thursday still. So watch the internet and watch this blow up, and watch fucking Kathleen Kennedy. Let's see if she does the rarest thing in the world, which is a woman accept responsibility for her fucking behavior, or let's see if she blames somebody and blames and blames and blames. Yeah, but this is great because honestly, this is just fucking. This whole movie was terrible. So, like I said, what a lot of people are doing, I don't recommend doing this, but if you don't want to support the box office, what the bad guys are doing is the people, they are buying tickets to other movies and then sneaking into the Rise of Skywalker so it doesn't get recorded in the box office, right? So that's a way, if you're a real Star Wars fan and you don't mind being a criminal, that, you know, you can do that. You know, yeah, somebody says this part. Yeah, so anyways, that's it, guys. Yeah, somehow it's Trump's fault. So, yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow on Free Consultation Friday. It's 5:45 a.m. It's Friday morning. My biological clock is fucked. I'm going to bed. Body Language Mastery is coming out. I refilmed everything. There's a whole section on male body language, too. I added way more gestures on the female body language, added more cups, more straws. There's so much more body language shit that I put in there. It's like, you're not going to believe it. It's really, really good. But I've been working my fucking ass off to get this editing done. I have to edit so much, and I have a whole section on male body language too. The primary focus is on female body language and how to get women. Just you looking at female body language. The male body language is just going to give you an added bonus, so you can force Skype your way into some dates. Until then, I'll see you force Skypers later.